This is my typical morning. For the past 3 years, there's been a construction crew right under my window. Years of sawing, drilling, and hammering. 3 years of noise. I'm having trouble working at home. I can't concentrate. I want to find out what this noise is doing to me. So I'm going to see a hearing doctor. This is Dr. Athanasios Katsarkas. He's a near specialist and a researcher at the Royal Victoria Hospital.
Well, to begin with, we have to say that all the, the loud noises in our environment are, we made them. And as all the loud noises are man-made, that's why the ear does not have a protective mechanism. Say if intense light falls on the eye, the pupil constricts, which means that the eye has a way to protect itself from intense light. But as there is no loud noise, except probably the thunder, that's why the ear cannot protect itself from noises. So that's why the ear is amenable to distraction from noise, and that's why you have to be careful. When you work in a noise, you get upset, but now the permanent effects of continuous and repeated exposure to noise is more for a psychologist than for me, and I don't know any specific effects, but there is no question that on top of everything else is to be continuously working in this kind of environment, this will contribute to your other problems.
Before I leave, Dr. Katsarkas offers to show me what real silence is like.
I want to show this gentleman what it is to be noise isolated.
After 3 years, this is bliss. I leave the hospital with more questions than answers. Why does the construction noise bother me, and not the noise of the metro or escalators?
Sounds have meaning, and when they have meaning, they're not just noise. And that is something that we, I think, need to investigate far more thoroughly in our understanding of noise pollution.
Anthropologist David Howes studies how different societies relate to sound.
One of the interesting things is a question of whether it's just decibel levels. Can you understand sound pollution in terms of decibel levels? Can you understand smell pollution just in terms of the intensity of the smell? And there, I think that there's a fundamental mistake which has to do with taking a purely quantitative approach to these sorts of issues. It's that element of sounds being meaningful that is frequently lost in studies of sound pollution. Noise is just sound devoid of meaning. There's no way of processing it and rendering it significant. Like the peal of a church bell can be as noisy, and yet it isn't perceived as that because it tells the time, for example, or it calls the faithful to worship. When you don't have any way of meaningfully registering something, then it is going to get under your skin, and it is going to make you feel on edge. And one of the things about sound is, of course, it's not just for the ear, it's also for the whole body, and vibrations affect us.
Literally will make your chest vibrate. The windows shake. So you have to close the windows. I've had conversations on the phone, and I've had to say, oops, excuse me, I have to get up and close the windows, which means...
Paul Wilkinson lives 1.5 miles from the runways at Trudeau Airport. He's got it way worse than I do. Jean-Guy Boutin is president of Citizens for Equality of Life. Both men have been fighting the airport's administration for years.
people are, subjected to this stress, and they try to deal with it, and they probably don't realize that it's affecting their health. There's more and more documentation coming out now on the impact of noise. It really is a hidden, I guess in a sense, it's a hidden killer.
Noise causes a disruption in sleep, and that gives rise to a number of other things. And one of them is an increase in blood pressure. Well, everybody knows what happens when blood pressure goes up. And let me tell you, when I have to get up at 6 in the morning to close a window, my blood pressure is elevated, and it's not a comfortable feeling. And you can't get back to sleep. Somebody, you can go back to sleep. Excuse me? That's what an alarm clock is all about. I don't have an alarm clock. I don't need an alarm clock. I've got the damn planes.
Paul got me thinking. This metro takes me places, so I don't complain about the sound. If he were a passenger on those planes, he wouldn't care about the noise. The construction work probably wouldn't bother me if it wasn't my property, or if I were a construction worker. When sounds are connected to our lives, they aren't noise to us. Seeing the meaning in noise is all well and good, but I'll stick with my earplugs for now. At the end of the day, I just need to be able to work, study, and sleep in peace.